Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte. We're taking a look today at the Colorado Avalanche as your 2021 President's Trophy winners. We'll be taking a look at the Avs, their season, their top point producers, all of that in this video. If you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, and want to see the latest news around the NHL, come on, guys, you already know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. So let's talk about the Colorado Avalanche. Now, the Avalanche have had a really good season this year. They are one of those teams that going into this playoffs, they are a threat. Now, going into this season, we knew they would be a threat, especially with some of their additions from last summer. We knew this was going to be a tough team to play against. And look at what the Avs have. I didn't mention it in my playoff preview series, but their goaltending got upgraded at the deadline. They bring in Devin Dubnyk. I think that was a great addition. You've added guys along the way, like Devon Toews, to add to the blue line. You've had some young guys come up, like Jacob McDonald and Ryan Graves and Devin Toews, like I mentioned. Bowen Byram coming into his rookie season. And the Avalanche are just starting to become the team that we thought they could have been last year. And they're starting to show more signs of that this year. And this is a team that, like I said, they've got some veterans as well. I mean, yes, you have your young guys like Byram and Makar, but you also have the older guys like Landeskog, McKinnon, Eric Johnson. So this is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the postseason. I'm really looking forward to that. Let's take a look at the Avalanche. Here we go. So the top point producers this season for the Colorado Avalanche, Mikko Rantanen leads the way, just barely beating out Nathan McKinnon. 66 points this year for Mikko Rantanen. Very impressive. A very good year for Mikko. Nathan McKinnon had 65 points this season. I don't know if he played the full season. Oh, he played 48 games, so he played almost a full season. Gabriel Landeskog, 52 points this season. Andre Burakovsky with 44. Cale Makar also with 44, Nazem Kadri, Sammy Girard, and Jonas Donskoy. So you could see there is just a plethora of depth on this team, and it's scoring by committee. Devon Toews, Brandon Saad, Val Nichushkin, JT Compher, all these guys are starting to produce for the Avs, and really it's kind of the beginning of the Avalanche really asserting themselves as, like I said, the team that we were hoping they would eventually become. And they are finally doing that this year. You look at their goalies as well. Some pretty solid stuff here from Philip Grubauer. I mean, Devin Dubnyk has not had the best start to his Avs career. An .895 save percentage and a 3.2 goals against average. Not that good. But Philip Grubauer's numbers have been very impressive and potentially a Vezina candidate at the end of the day this year. A 1.95 goals against average and a .922 save percentage. Very impressive here from Philip Grubauer. And he has been the guy. I mean, he has the majority of their wins. He has 30 wins for the Avs this year. Out of the 39 games, he has 30 of those 39 wins for the Colorado Avalanche. And he had 7 shutouts, which is also one of the best in the NHL. So, this is a team that relies a lot on their goaltender, just like the St. Louis Blues. But the thing is, they have the depth as well. They don't just rely on goaltending, it's the depth as well. It's everything together. And that's really what I like about this Avalanche team. We're talking about a team that's, like I said, not going to be an easy out by any means. And I'm looking forward to seeing just what the Avalanche have in store. What are we going to see the emergence of Tyson Yost in this year's postseason? Are we going to see guys like Cale Makar and Sammy Girard start to develop just that next level? Because we talked about with the Carolina Hurricanes a couple years ago, I talked about how we saw the emergence of Jacob Slavin in the postseason. Which defenseman for the Avs is going to do that this year? We saw Cale Makar kind of do that last year. But what about a guy like Sammy Girard this year? Could we see him take that next step and really show, the rest of the NHL what he can do in the postseason? I think there's a great opportunity for him to do that. And Philip Grubauer, this is a great chance for him to really get his name out in the NHL. Like, hey, listen, guys, might want to consider me a Vezina finalist. I've been kind of really good this year. And maybe he could finally get that accolade that he really deserves. But let me know what you guys think of the Avalanche this season. They have a really tough first round series here against the St. Louis Blues, but I really like the Avalanche. I picked them winning that, but make sure to check that out just to get an idea of where the Avs sit with the St. Louis Blues. But yeah, like I said, really impressive year for the Avalanche. We know there's the President's Trophy curse, but like I mentioned in that playoff preview, I don't think it's going to hurt the President's Trophy team as much this year, because usually the reason for it is you have a team that is, for the most part, been sitting for a month, waiting for the postseason, probably having guys scratched, your superstars scratched, or just, recovering before the playoffs because the games don't matter. And that kind of hurts the players as they go into the postseason. They're not in playoff form yet. Meanwhile, you have a team that, more than likely, when you win the President's Trophy, a team that had to fight and claw their way into the postseason, that team has usually been fighting for the last month and playing playoff hockey already. And that could be a tough situation for the team that's been practically on vacation for a month. That didn't happen with the Avs. The Avs just barely won the division. They barely won the President's Trophy. They were tied with Vegas in points if they didn't have the upper hand in the head-to-head matchup. So the Avalanche aren't going to suffer from that same President's Trophy hangover like other teams potentially would in a regular 82-game season. So congratulations to the Colorado Avalanche. Well-deserved. And I think a lot of people would say they wouldn't be surprised if at the beginning of the year you said the Avalanche won the President's Trophy. I don't think many people would be all that surprised, because we knew going into this season, once they got the defense together and some of those young guys got some ice time, they developed a little bit of confidence that this was going to be a force to be reckoned with in this year's postseason, and we'll see that probably here in this year's playoffs. I think they could go on a really nice run. I honestly, if this is the year they're going to win a Stanley Cup, I wouldn't be surprised. They have a really good group, and they could do something really special here in the 2021 postseason. But guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you think of the Colorado Avalanche? Do you think they'll go out in the first round this year, the President's Trophy hangover, or do you think that they're going to go on a nice long playoff run and potentially win that Stanley Cup here in 2021? Let me know down below. And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, you guys already know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and let's go Avs.